Hello and welcome to LAKERLAND, where you hear some opinions from some Laker fans. I'm Christian. Alongside of me is my left-hand man, Matt.
Yeah.
What it do, man? We just fresh off of that last recording we did. You know what? I said it was hot last time. It's gonna have to be a temperature check now, cause let me take this off. I can't have the same fit. You know the vibe.
Edit point.
All right, we go. We back. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know what time it is. I might have to edit that out because I looked crazy. Oh, man. You know what time it is. Bubble champs. I ain't hearing
Bubble
nothing.
James, Mickey Chip. You see it.
Just
You
gotta
see
get
it.
Gotta get
You see what's going on.
Yeah. How's it going, bro? You know, kicking back, feet up.
You know what I'm saying? Reg champ shit. Feel me?
You know what I mean? And let's talk about a little bit how we got here today.
Right.
This is gonna be kind of like the first installment. You know, we're still Lakerland. We still here. We're still us. We're still gonna be chatting how we chat, but it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a little more focused today until we go off focus talking about Danny Green's jump shot. That was a Kawhi laugh if I ever heard one. You said, oh man. But today's show will be centered around one man, and it's going to be a conversation about LeBron James.
LeBron James.
I want to dive deep into talking about this man, and let's just talk about how we felt before he was on our team, when we got the news that he was a part of our team, and maybe how our whole perspective, our whole idea of the guy himself shifted into what it is now, especially that he won us that chip. So I asked you, Matt Warren, and I want right hand on the stand. How did you feel about LeBron James before he put on that Lakers jersey?
All right.
Let it all out. Because I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, truth time, bro. I'm not going to say I hated ball. I'm not going to say I disliked ball. But I really did not care for LeBron James. And I was very much not on the LeBron James train at all. Because let's be real, right? As Lakers fans, as Kobe fans, lifelong Kobe fans, yes, sir, Mamba in the back. There's been, I would say, some sort of tension and just, you know what I'm saying, and difference between Kobe fans and Bron fans. And I'm not going to say it had anything to really do with LeBron himself. I think it was more so the hype that I felt, you know what I'm saying, probably is more deserving for Kobe would go to LeBron. And that's not necessarily anybody else's fault, to me, in my opinion, but the NBA. Because I think, Kobe went through whatever he went through in like 15 years ago, whatever the case was. And they decided they needed to market another player as the guy. And it was LeBron James. And for me, I was very spiteful about that. And I always left a bad taste in my mouth. So, I just feel like there was a lot of indirect hate that went to LeBron James from me on my side. So I got to admit that. And I also got to admit that during those Warrior Cavs runs, I was always rooting for the Warriors. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I stood. And when he was on the Heat, I was always rooting against the Heat. That's just how I was. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Obviously that changed because I'm a diehard Lakers fan, no matter who joins the team. And all I care about is results at the end of the day when it comes to the Lakers. So,
all right, I guess it's my time, right? It's honesty hour.
Honesty hour. I keep it
like I feel like I'm in like a anonymous alcohol anonymous meeting, man. All right, so here it goes. My name is Christian, and I was a LeBron hater. uh, let the cat out the bag, bro. So here it is. I never hated LeBron before, and then the decision happened. I'm like 10 years old, I want to say. When was that, 2010? Nah, I was
The 12.
I was like 11, 12, old enough to start being influenced, right? So I'm gonna keep it a being, man. I was not much different than Skip. I was trying to downplay every single thing LeBron did, and I think in general, I'm gonna be completely transparent. If you're a Lakers fan, there was no reason for you to like, root, or enjoy watching LeBron James play basketball.
That's really what it was. Like, for real, for real.
And that is for a few reasons. You kind of said it, man. We looked up to this guy right here. Kobe was our Jordan. So anytime somebody was like, he's not the best player in the world, LeBron James is, you would try to think of every single thing that could be like a point against him. And because Kobe came up, years before him, he already had the MVP out the way. He already had the rings out the way. Okay, yeah, LeBron James got an MVP. He don't got no ring though. So we would try to create narratives ourselves, and that's what we would do. Right. And especially as a Kobe fan, I hated LeBron's play style. I'm over here looking at a killer every night and day. And yeah, LeBron James was a winning player for sure. But he wasn't the one that was like, we need a win today. I got 50 on his head. We talked about it a few shows ago. LeBron James is a different type of killer. He'll come in, he's like, yeah, I'm feeling good today. It's going to be a wrap.
18 dimes.
18 dimes, 12 boards, shooting 55 from the field. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, bro. But like, I ain't see you really attack the basket like that. I ain't see you just nasty in somebody's face, a nice little fadeaway. Like, and especially LeBron James, a lot of times he has the sneaky stat line where it's like LeBron James on the floor. So it's almost like when you used to play like your little sibling or your little cousin in basketball and you start them off with like 5 points and the game's up to 11. It felt like that with LeBron James sometimes. It felt like you start the stat sheet with him having 15 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. It just felt like that. So I was a LeBron hater to the fullest. He turned me into a Steph Curry super fan. I was rooting for him as hard as it can be. I called LeBron a cancer in the locker room. I said LeBron can't get the job done. I said he ain't a killer. I said you cannot trust him with the last second shot. I said that, Ray Allen was the reason they won the championship. He got saved by a lucky bounce. But
I said that he beat the baby Thunder, like that, and during the lockout season, by the way, you know what I'm saying, asterisk. I said I
was bashing him crazy with the Mavs loss.
Bashing
him crazy, just beating it in.
And then Ray Allen saves his ass, Chris Bosh saves his ass. Like, come on, son. Like, what does that mean? That don't mean nothing.
Then he loses to the Spurs. I took it so deep, bro. The Warriors beat the Cavs ass when they were handicapped as hell. I took it so deep, bro. I was like, the Cavaliers would have never won that championship if Draymond Green wasn't suspended Game 6.
I still stand by that to this day.
That's
how deep that runs, bro.
I kind of do too. It's still in here, bro. It's in the veins.
That's how deep it runs. But like on some real John though, bro, it's almost like the love that, because let's be real, right? Kobe gets a lot of love now. When he was playing, bro, he might have been the most blackball player in the league. Might be in history. Think about it. 1 MVP.
Bro, you got to look at the Steve Nash season. He averaged 19 points and 9 assists.
1 MVP. Declined trades, right?
Has that
ESPN.
ever happened before?
I don't know.
Has that
ESPN
ever?
ranking him like what 90th best player in the league or something crazy like that. So it's like when you really thinking about it, it's like the whole league almost had like a uh, uh, underrate Kobe type of agenda that was I never understood because it's like if you're watching him play, and to this day, literally to this day, people are saying I was literally listening to this guy on TV the other day. Might have been today, I don't know. Talking about we've never seen anybody in year 17 even come close to the way LeBron James is. I'm like, yo, how can people even? And it's literally because it was never talked about while he was doing it. It was talked about a little bit. I mean, he had literally got the name Vino, right? He was going crazy. But as soon as he, got the little injury, it's like it was all forgotten. And that's the things that hurt me the most as a Lakers fan, as a Kobe fan. It's like, yo, you don't want to look at the bright spots of Kobe. You don't want to put him on this pedestal, but you go into this guy who I see a whole bunch of flaws in, and he gets MVP after MVP after MVP. He gets any player he wants.
Cake walks into the finals. That was another narrative I used to run all the time.
Well, but it's cakewalk and barely making it sometimes, going to Game 7 with baby Celtics and all this other stuff. But besides that, it's like, why does this guy get all the credit that Kobe been putting in years of work for that he's never achieved? And I was always bitter about that. I still am kind of bitter because it's like, yeah, unfortunately he's not here to see the love that everybody's giving now. But up until his last game, Kobe was getting a lot of not love. Let's be real. And I took that and I put it in other places, and the main place I put that was LeBron James. Feel me?
As Michael Jordan would say, and I took it personal. So that is really, I think we narrowed it down. That is where the hate for LeBron James derived from. And coming into, it was the I'm trying to think of when we signed LeBron James, 2018, because we had 2018-19 season. Then we got it's coming into the 2018 summer, and there was some chatter about LeBron James either going back to Cleveland, maybe back to Miami, or touching down in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
As a Laker fan, I'll let you speak your piece in a second. As a Laker fan, I was super conflicted because I didn't know if I wanted to enjoy the ride as we were like it felt like for the first time with Lonzo Ball, with Kyle Kuzma, with Brandon Ingram really coming into his own, with Julius Randle. It seemed like for the first time we were looking like, okay, maybe we have a future. Maybe this is the future. And then LeBron James, he could either expedite that or he can completely change your whole roster. And real quick before I get on you, I at the time I was on the train of, you know what? Let's get LeBron James, because in my mind I'm like, he works really good with role players. And Lonzo Ball, I don't see him as a star. I see him as a really good role player. Josh Hart, I see as a role player. Kyle Kuzma, role player. So I was like, this might work, and I'm all for the expedite train. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm down for it. That free agency, when they said LeBron James might come to LA, what did you think?
I could see you was conflicted. Misusing your influence. Nah, but on some real John, bro, I didn't take it seriously because I didn't really see it as like realistic. I didn't, because it's like, again, I was like, why would he come to the Lakers? Why would he come to Kobe territory? It doesn't make sense for his legacy. It doesn't make sense for, you know what I'm saying? But so with that being said, I never really thought about it in terms of being happy or upset. I just never thought about it because, yeah, I feel like Los Angeles is always on somebody's radar in terms of free agency. Why are they really going to do it? I thought him probably going back to Miami or whatever probably was more possible. But, I mean, it just wasn't a thought for me. Because come on now, like, think about it. Go back to that time period. Do you really think about LeBron James going into Kobe territory trying to make it hit?
I did for the simple reason that offseason, it felt like that Cleveland team was on its last legs. So I
Yeah,
felt
I
like
mean,
I
I
feel
see
like
that. I see that.
he wasn't going back there. Miami was like, you kind of already did that already. You kind of already hit that. You don't want to go back. And then it was like there was no other teams really left in the market for him at the time. It was like he's either maybe going to sign a 1-year deal with Cleveland, a one and one, or he tries something new. And I felt like at the time, Lakers somehow throughout years of irrelevancy, we were still relevant. So we always are. But then he signs the
Always are.
contract. He didn't wait no time. He didn't, 3 days after the trade, the free agency, he did it right on the dot. And then you automatically hear the narratives. Is it for the right reasons? Is he coming here to play basketball? Oh, he put his son in the school. He just wants to do it for his family. He's done winning championships. He's 34 years old. He just wants to do movies. He's doing Space Jam this summer. Blah, 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 blah. Did you buy into any of these narratives?
Not gonna hold you. Um, the moment he signed to Los Angeles, my LeBron hate radar went from hate to neutral. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he signed in Lakers gold, feel me? But I wasn't sold. You know what I'm saying? Dre did not sold me. So I was like,
I'm
feel
not
me?
sold, Dre.
I'm not sold, Dre. I'm not sold. So I was a little skeptical. I'm hearing all the rumors and people's opinions and stuff like that. I try not to get too caught up in that because it tends to be far from the truth way too often. But I think I was more so seeing it as, yeah, he probably wants to live in LA. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is probably where he wants to build maybe an outside career outside of basketball and get into more external, you know what I'm saying, avenues. And I wasn't hating on that. I just figured as long as, first of all, it took me a day to register. Let me just say that. It took me a day. Because like I said, I wasn't even expecting that. That wasn't on my radar. So when I seen that pop up, it took me a while. I had to sit down, take a deep breath. All right. You gotta think about it, bro. I was hating this man. So
It's
so
hard.
I
It's a
take a
tough
deep breath.
pill to swallow, man.
Tough pill, bro. Tough pill. Right? No water. So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, all
Popeye's
right, let's
biscuit,
look at the
bro.
bright side. So I'm like, all right, let me think about it here. It's LeBron James, great basketball player. I mean, we're getting a great basketball player. What is there to complain about? There's only benefits that can come here. LA is now more attractive. We're back on the radar in terms of winning. So it's a great situation that we're in now. All I can hope is that going into the season, he has the team's best interest and not just looking out for his career in LA or his life in LA. Feel me? And I didn't really see it as he didn't care about winning because I still don't think at that period of time he was complacent.
So I'm not gonna say that I bought into the narratives at all. I think I was pretty like you. I went from I hated LeBron James to like, all right, he's here. The guy is a champion, whether I like it or not. Because I was to the point. I was to the point of my LeBron James hate where it was like, you know what? Once he won that ring against Warriors, I said, I kind of got to step back and just appreciate him for a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So I really, at this point, especially when I saw what he was doing with these bum Cleveland teams, I was like, let me just take the time and appreciate him just a little bit because I don't want to be the person. And I was getting older too, so I was like, I don't want to be the person that takes this guy for granted. And like, I'm like, yeah, I saw LeBron James. He was all right. Them old heads. I didn't want to be that person. So I was like, all right, let me just put my beef to the side for a second and let me stare at it for a neutral perspective. So that's what I started doing already. And then he came to the Lakers and I went from neutral to like, all right, you know what? Let me like you. You know how like you know how sometimes you feel like you're forced to like something, whether it's, maybe it's a show somebody puts on and you're gonna have to be here for a day or two. So you're like, bro, I might as well try to get into this. So that's how I felt.
Yeah, no,
That's
for
how,
real.
that's how I felt at the time. I heard the narratives and I didn't buy them. I was like, sure, that might have had a part to do with it. Who wants to be in Cleveland their whole life?
Right.
But I was like, you can do two things at one time. And I feel like he can definitely do it. I did buy into the narratives at one moment. And we'll get to that a little later because
Trust me. We're going to get into it.
because Lakers, I'm hyped, man. I love Lonzo. It's his year 2. Love Kuzma. It's his year 2. Love Ingram. It's his year 3. I'm like, okay, this team got potential. I thought, I'm going to be honest. I was like, I don't know if we'll win the championship this year. We making a run in the playoffs. Nobody wants to see the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's definitely what I thought.
That's what I thought. Game 1 comes. First game of the season. LeBron James, man. That first basket, that first throwdown, that second throwdown, the whole your brothers fell, you stay on the ground, you let your brothers pick you up. I was like, oh, he's saying all the right things.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lose the game. And I look at that moment a completely different way now. Remind me, maybe I could tell you how I view it now. But we also got a new roster. So I take some adjustments, and I'm looking at everything through a different perspective. And then the season continues. And not everything was LeBron's fault, but I feel like LeBron James is not the same player that I kept hearing about. I'm going to be honest. I'm a Lakers fan. I sat through the trash era of Jordan Hill and the Andrew Gowlocks, and I sat and I watched all 82 because that's what I do. So I didn't watch every LeBron James game. But what I heard is that he's a monster. He can't be stopped. He scores at will, and he could turn any player next to him into a star, get him a max contract, get him that big deal, long-term stay. And I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was, that first half of that season, he was definitely coasting, which is something that I feel like if you was a LeBron James fan, you probably knew about him, but we didn't know that. So we was expecting Lakers basketball off rip, you know what I'm saying? And he coasts. That's the thing that he likes to do, is he likes to coast during the season.
And pick and choose when he wants to turn it on.
He picks and chooses. It's definitely like he chooses a game that might be important, and definitely a televised game. You probably might turn it up a little bit. But it was kind of something that I saw as maybe he's an aging LeBron, right? And but I noticed it seemed like he was preserving himself because he always did the same move that he always does, the spin. That was like the only thing he really did in 2018 was that spin move, right? And then, we weren't doing bad. We weren't doing terrible. We was like 4th in the West.
Yeah. So we peaked. We definitely peaked 2 months into the season, and the Christmas Day happens. And at this point, I'm like, first of all, a big thing is, I hate to say it, Rajon Rondo gets hurt. I'm gonna be honest. If you want me to do, maybe it's in the works. Let's see how the season goes down. If you want me to do a conversation about Rajon Rondo, that will be a good ass episode. It would be an entertaining, good ass episode. But summed up in a few seconds, Rajon Rondo was a cancer to the 2018-2019 Lakers roster. Absolutely the worst thing I've ever watched. And luckily, that memory is no more because of this season and because it's been washed out by Danny Green.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that happened. And then Christmas Day happens. LeBron James goes down. And Lakers.
Scary sight. I've never seen anything like that before.
Lakers fall. We fall to like the very, not bottom, but like to like now we're on the outside looking in. And then we start picking up. We start picking up some wins. But the thing is, LeBron James just didn't feel a part of the team. It felt like, especially when we started losing, it just felt like it was the same basketball I watched for the last 4 years. And I was okay with that when LeBron James wasn't on the team. But LeBron James is on the team. He felt distant, and this is when I bought in because I was like, bro, it's a groin injury. Like it didn't sound like anything serious. And then this is when I kind of bought into a narrative or two when we're losing bad, we're getting killed, and I see LeBron James invent the deluxe album for 2 Chainz for 2 Chainz' latest project.
All right, so yeah, let me say something, bro. First of all, Christmas Day, like I said, it was very scary because I've never seen, besides when LeBron James used to get like a cramp or two or whatever, I've never seen LeBron James get hurt on some real serious type time. So I was worried. I was like, yo, are we cursed? Like, yo, what's going on? Like, what's going on? You feel me? Like, he's gonna get hurt for the first time with us. Like, damn, right? So then, like you said, we pick up some wins, and then the tone and the feeling starts feeling a little different in the winter time. And hey, man, like you said, the moment I saw him up on that dry erase board with 2 Chainz talking about some, hey, we got 16 tracks. It's cool. How about this, though? We got 2 extra tracks here. Release the album. Give them like a week or 2 to digest it. You know what I'm saying? I'll fuck with y'all. Thanks for coming on this ride with us. Here's 2 extra tracks. Deluxe album. Right? Genius idea. Genius, right? He innovated the whole music industry. That's cool, but we're losing games and we're dropping out of the playoffs literally as this is happening, right? So now in my head, I'm thinking back to all these ESPN people. Oh, he just wants to be in LA. He just wants to be in Hollywood. He wants to be a star. He wants to be a celebrity. I'm like, no, this can't be true, man. He can't be doing this.
Yeah, and not for nothing, bro. This is happening, and then I see him going crazy on the bench for Bronny's games, and I'm like, bro, I get it. That's your son. Like, cool, root for him.
Exactly.
Can you help us win?
Because at this point, we're doing bad. Like, we're literally fighting for playoff spots now. You feel me? And this man is over here with 2 Chainz putting out an album.
So this happens, right? And don't get me wrong, the Lakers season, it wasn't just LeBron James. This is where everything retrospect comes into effect.
We had Luke Walton.
We had Luke Walton, and that was coming into
I gotta say that.
That was coming into my mind as well. I wanted Luke Walton fired mid-season. I wanted him gone. But then I'm also thinking, yo, is it Luke Walton? Is it LeBron? I'm fighting all these like different type of demons. I'm like, is it Rondo? Is it Lonzo Ball? Is Brandon Ingram's play style just not good enough not good enough, but is it not like really playable next to LeBron? It seems like every time LeBron's out, Ingram goes off, and it seems like Kuzma is so great with LeBron. Should we swap him out? I'm going through a whole different thing, right? And then trade deadline approaches, and almost like it was raining. It was a hurricane, but then we get a little bit peak of the sun. And you hear one name, and that's Anthony Davis. And you're like, what if this team did have Anthony Davis? What if they paired LeBron James and Anthony Davis together? And then as quickly as that window opened, it got shut. Because I don't even know, man. Narratives out the ass. The Lakers wanted too much. Pelicans wanted too much. We had to take on Solomon Hill contract. Oh, Magic Johnson doesn't know how to do trades. Rob Pelinka just is too crazy in the executive office. Him and Magic don't agree. And it's like at that moment, our season comes to a halt. It feels like after that, chemistry is screwed up. These guys don't know. All these are kids. They don't know. They're our age. They don't know if they're on a team. They don't know if they're relocated to New Orleans having to eat gumbo in a week. Mm-hmm. They don't know what's going on. Whatever, that happens. LeBron James comes back healthy, and he says the 3 words. Two words combined with another 3. He said playoff mode. And then 0 dark 30. I'm like, all right, let's talk about it. I'm like, okay, this is it. I seen Kobe Bryant do the same thing year 17.
Year 17.
And they asked him, they said, Kobe, it's not looking good.
Year 17, by the way.
What happens if you don't make the playoffs? You know what this man said? We're going to make the playoffs.
We're making the playoffs. Straight face. We're making the playoffs.
So
no more words after that.
So from there on out, I hear 0 Dark 30. I'm going to have to go into my grind a little earlier. I remember the first game, bro. I was waiting for 0 Dark 30 for 48 minutes.
Oh, man, bro. And, bro, let's be real. All right. I feel like LeBron, around that period of time in the winter time, I feel like he recognized that there was this roster wasn't going to work. I think he realized that, right? It wasn't going to work in terms of winning in the playoffs, right? We might get there, but we're going to get spanked, right, by these teams, right? Pretty sure the Warriors are still active.
The Warriors went to the finals.
Right, so we would have got spanked. I think he recognized that, but you know what I'm saying? I think he did try to bring us to the playoffs, maybe. I don't think he wanted that on his record to not make the playoffs with the Lakers for the first year. But, I mean, we dug ourselves in the hole where, I'm saying, only probably Kobe Bryant could have dug us out of, you know what I'm saying? Because he has done it before. And I don't want to compare it right now, but we know what his 0 Dark 30 is. We know what that is, right? And when he said that, like, I was hyped, and I was severely disappointed. But I think a lot of our failure was due to, besides LeBron, the team was just dysfunctional. We had Luke Walton as a coach. Magic and Rob they weren't working well in the office together. It just wasn't, you know what I'm saying? We had too many kids, and we just wasn't fit overall. And we look at LeBron James' old teams and say, well, you've done it before. You've had rosters probably worse than this before. But he wasn't in the West. He was in the East.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sort of different game. Do I think he was making his injury a little bit? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Do I think so? Yeah, he was on stage dancing pretty hard to have a groin injury. You feel me?
Going crazy in sicko mode, too. That's not like, you know what I mean?
He was going crazy. He was going crazy. He was enjoying life. And I had a bad taste in my mouth from that because I was like, yo, like, and now I'm starting to feed into those narratives. Yeah, man, this guy just wants to be an actor. Now he's coming out with the Space Jam, right? Now the Space Jam, John is coming out. Now I'm like, oh, this is what it is. LeBron just wants to be a movie star, right? We make it to the playoffs. Yo, LeBron James didn't make it to the playoffs. This is unbelievable, right? Now I'm getting sick. People are talking about, oh, you should just trade LeBron James. I'm thinking that might not be a bad idea.
Same, bro. Same.
That might not be a bad idea. We can get some heat, actually, for LeBron James. So, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, that Anthony Davis trade, once it was in the air, it didn't work out at the deadline, but there was, for some reason,
the optimism.
It seemed like once LeBron James has his mind on something, we know how the NBA works for LeBron. So as a Lakers fan, I was like, if it's not this year, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now when his contract is up, right? But it didn't work out. I was disappointed, but a slimmer of hope, very slim bit of hope for the next season, bro.
Looking back at it now, and I could just, repeat everything you said because it's my same feelings. Looking back at it now, what I didn't realize is once that Anthony Davis window opened up, LeBron James essentially – I've never been in a situation. I am, basically married to a girl. But LeBron James seems like he was in a situation where it's like he had a thing and it was holding him down just a little bit. But there was this new girl just floating around.
Shorty bad.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I might just wait until this one slips up because I already have this one in the tuck. So let me just let me just kind of do my thing, just let me lay back. And then once that moment comes, once she catches me slipping, I'll be like, you know what? My fault. Let's part ways. Knowing damn well in a week, you're going to be like,
Yep.
And that's what it was at the end of the day for LeBron James.
That's what it was.
That's exactly what it was. So once that window opened up, but at the same time, I'm a Lakers fan. I ain't trying to hear none of that. I don't care what you think can happen later on. What we doing right now? Because I already put expectations on you. But anyway, season ends, right? And then it's a disaster. Luke Walton gone, thank God. Rajon Rondo re-signed, crap. Well, that's after the fact, but that's just Magic Johnson dips. The whole front office in shambles, and I'm just holding on to the hope.
Bro, we was in shambles, bro.
Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the fact that we went from literally Lakers do not know what they're doing. Who is running this organization? Who's in Jeannie Buss's ear? Should she sell the franchise? Should she sell it? Should she give it to her brothers, Jesse Buss, who's been running the G League perfectly? None of that, bro. They don't talk about none of that. They just talk about, Lakers won the chip. It's the Astros. Anyways, not to get off topic, but we were in shambles, and I was holding on to the hope Anthony Davis can fix this. Anthony Davis can fix this. Anthony Davis can fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Anthony Davis. Traded away our whole roster. And
I just want to say, I was very – I'm not going to say very. I was a little hesitant about that trade because I knew what we had to give up. And I loved our babies, man.
I did.
Our Laker babies,
I
you know what I'm saying?
love them to this day, bro.
Yeah, B.I. Lonzo, Hart, Ingram. That's a great group of players. And, their potential, we saw their potential. And it was kind of hard to get rid of that when you think about the long run. You know what I'm saying? And Anthony Davis is a great player, but I was like, all this for one player is a lot, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I was a little hesitant. And when the trade was made, I was like, let's go. But no B.I., no Lonzo. That hurts. And then I also was a little puzzled during that time because they made it clear that Kuzma was a no-go. And I was a little, I was like, why between Kuzma, B.I., and Lonzo, Kuzma is the guy that we're protecting with our life. And I didn't understand that at all at the moment because if it was up to me, it would have been Ingram. I understand the concept of LeBron and the way Kuzma plays off of LeBron and the way B.I. plays in terms of meshing with LeBron probably wouldn't work. So I understand that theory, but I'm just thinking about talent and outcomes and how they play. So in that moment, I wasn't very happy. I was happy though. I was happy.
Yeah, I just want to point out, I don't think Pelicans would have ever accepted a trade with Kuzma instead of Ingram, especially looking back at it now, because Ingram is that all-star. But I'm on the same boat with you. We just spoke about Daryl Morey and how he's sometimes over-aggressive. So we've been seeing a pattern, of we don't trade for that player. We don't take that aggressive step, and we let him kind of just slip away from our hands in free agency. Another team does the trade, and they hang on to them. So I'm going into that with the same mindset. I'm like, I don't know if we want to trade him. Maybe we can get him in the offseason, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Maybe this is our one and only chance.
Yeah.
So we do the trade, and now it kind of hits me. It settles in like, yeah, we did it. But as Thanos would say, it costs everything. Everything. Like, at this point, I'm like, if we don't win now, we're screwed. It
seems that way.
If we don't win in the next, or you know what, while we just have AD, we might have gave up on what could have been a dynasty, possibly, in my head.
That's what it kind of felt like. Felt that way.
In my head, that's how I felt. So now I'm looking at LeBron James, and I'm like,
no excuse now.
Show me something.
Yeah.
There is no excuse this go round. We put together, I think, Looking back at it now, I don't know how I felt about when we put together the roster. I think I was always pretty confident. Looking back at it now, the roster was not that great. Just looking at, granted, we won a championship off of it, but I was like hyped for Troy Daniels.
I mean, on paper, it wasn't that great. I think the work that Rob did with Bron and AD, figuring out what pieces they needed around them, with what was available, I think they did a tremendous job. Considering the fact the game that Kawhi was playing and put us in a position where we had to literally work with some scraps. I hate to call them scraps because they're great players and they did great by us, but that's literally what the situation was. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So here we are with AD and Bron, and Kawhi's on the market, and we're thinking super team, right? And I'm
super team, bro.
I was conflicted about that big time. I had a very bad feeling about it. And it was seeing like a very big pot. I remember during that time, it was making it seem like Lakers are the number one choice for Kawhi, and that's probably it's gonna be a go, right? At that time, I felt kind of disgusting, like I needed a shower, bro. I needed a shower.
You felt like we were cheating.
Cheating, bro, in the worst fashion. Not even cheating, but I was like, I don't like this for us. I don't like this for us because it's like I don't want people. Any chance people get to put asterisks on Lakers, I'm not for it. Feel me? And I feel like a lot of whatever could have been from that situation just would have been discredited big time, historically moving on into basketball future. If we had won 5 rings in a row, we would have just been like, yeah, that team it wasn't even fair. Feel me? And so, I don't want that.
So it would have been like, Warriors all over again. And I feel like, especially when we go into the future, Kevin Durant is going to be viewed as like a great player. But if he does not win another ring in his current state, he's going to have a big taint on him. And it's only going to be on him. We're not going to look at it for Curry. We're not going to look at it for Clay. We're not going to look at it for
Dre. Because they won one.
Because they did it. So it was just like it was another one for them. But I feel you on that. That's kind of how I felt in a slight bit. Plus, we like to act like we don't, but we like to kind of prove people wrong. We like to go back and see those clips like, you are stupid. You really said that LeBron James and Anthony Davis wouldn't work together? We like that. It's just like a relief for us. We're like, let's just soak in these like tears. If we would have got Kawhi, it would have been like, we expected it. You know what I mean? I don't want anything given to us. Let's work for it. So at the end of the day, yeah, because Kawhi played with us, I liked the construction of the roster, but I had my doubts. I'm not gonna lie. And then the season started, and besides that first game where I didn't see LeBron turn it on again, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I saw him turn it on almost all season.
And we played the Clippers, did we not?
We played the Clippers.
Big time game. There was a lot of tension going into it. Kawhi's dropping commercials, right? He's the king of LA. Not to mention the whole game he played with us leading into the season, right? So now it's just on bad timing now, right? Now we're just automatically rivals. Going into this game, we need to shut all that out because Clippers are automatically the favorite now for every NBA analyst alive. We don't like that. So, you know what I'm saying? We need to see LeBron go for their heads. After the first game, I think it's safe to say we were both worried.
I went from hating LeBron James, neutral, to let me try to like him. That game happened, and I went back to like, what are we getting into?
Breaking news. I'm sorry, bro. Breaking news. December 22nd is looking like a go.
Oh, man, I didn't check. I got the notifications on too, bro. All right. Let's go. All right, let's go. We're going to pick it up. We here. Let's
18. Go. Roll to 18.
18, bro. Celtics, you're done now. Yeah, so, bro, and especially the Clippers game, it went down to the wire, and it seemed like we didn't have nobody to go to. And I'm going to be honest. One day we're going to do a conversation about Anthony Davis. I'm going to have something to say when that day comes to about this first game. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, it's the first game. Let's play it out. Win the next, 12 straight. Cool. I don't really see what I want to see from LeBron, but I'm like, we're winning.
We're winning.
We're winning.
The roster seems to gel.
Yeah, everything seems to gel. So the whole season, I'm like, we're winning. Me and you are the same. Me and you were on the same boat. I was like, LeBron James isn't my favorite player on the team. LeBron James isn't my second favorite player on the team. LeBron James might not be my third favorite player on the team. It was to a point where I was like that. It was like Anthony Davis, Caruso, and then on some days it was legitimately Dwight Howard, and then it was LeBron James.
Legitimately.
It's not necessarily that these players were better than LeBron James. It was just like, I know what LeBron James can do, and I'm not seeing it. So I'm not really going crazy for it. How did you feel, when we're having a great season, but LeBron James is kind of just, I'm not going to say coasting because we were winning games, but he was just
he was
level, he was on level 7.
Close, we can still win.
He was on level 7.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a coast. I mean, he was on his Wash King tour, if that means anything.
Yes. I remember that. Worldwide.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing about Bron is that he's gonna showcase. He's gonna put on a little bit of a show on Instagram and all that. So I mean, when you talk a big game, you can't blame us for expecting a big game. You know what I mean?
The NBA and the NBPA are expected to discuss moving up the start of free agency as early as possible to accommodate players joining new teams so close to a December 1st start of training camp. We might have things go down soon.
Real soon. But we're going to be on watch for that. You know what I'm saying? LAKERLAND, you know what I'm saying? Stay tuned because we going to be paying attention. So
I'm going to keep my phone by my side for these vibrations from Woj. But, yeah, keep going. My fault.
What was I at just now?
Wash King Tour.
Wash King Tour. So, yeah, you talk a big game, we're going to expect a big game. I'm not complaining too much if we winning, right? What game was the Mavericks game? I feel like that was early in the season.
That was early. I think we just hit a year on that a few days ago. So I would say let's say
that was early.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, that game made me feel so confident in the potential success of that season because that was like the real playoff environment type of game down to the wire, literally tested down to the wire. And we pulled it off. And as a team, it was so persuasive, bro. It sold me. I was like, yeah, chip time. Like, this is the team. You know what I'm saying? We had Danny Green hitting game-saving threes, bro.
Who hit a three?
Bro, Daniel Green, bro, how many more? He hit a three. That's all I needed to see. I was sold, Dre. I was sold. So I was like, you know what? We lit. LeBron's not going to take no last shot, but maybe he doesn't have to. Right? That's what I'm starting to think. Maybe he doesn't have to. So definitely real confident until Christmas.
Yeah, man. So Christmas Day, and it felt, bro, I don't know about you, but it felt like I just saw it all in a retrospective vision. I was just like, last Christmas Day, we were looking so good, and then the injury happened and everything went downhill. So Christmas Day is going on, whole new team. I'm like, wow, everything has changed in just a year. Whole new team. And they were hyping up this game for so long. They know how much it meant to them. I don't want to lose 2 in a row. They already lost like 3 or maybe even 4 in a row at this point. So I was like, they're not losing this game. They said, screw all those other games. We're focused on this one. We've seen LeBron kind of pick and choose, and he'll turn it up for some games. So I'm like, he could do that. So I was like, all right, 0 Dark 30. I'm going to see it today. A little sneak preview. I think he had like 18 points, man. Didn't look like a killer. Didn't look like he cared. And I was the whole team, to be honest. But I put that on their leader. So I saw that, and I was like, I still don't know how to feel about LeBron James. I like that he's on my team, but I don't know if I like him. I don't know if I love him on my team.
And think about the irony of this, right? I think Danny Green's first game when he had like 25,
27, I think.
All right, so by the time Christmas comes around, I was more confident in Kyle Kuzma and Daniel Green than LeBron James. Because
I was with you.
in those games, they showed up. Why are they dropping 25, 26 points?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they doing that, LeBron James?
You got an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
That's how I know you back in time, bro.
But yeah, so I'm expecting these type of performances and better performances from LeBron James, let alone a subpar performance.
I thought Woj was going crazy.
I thought he was wild. I was about to say no way, but
bro, it was vibrating. I was like, yo, Woj is getting off a rant right now. God.
But my biggest issue here with the Christmas Day game, right? It goes down to the wire again against the Clippers. And what happens? LeBron James defers to KCP for the last shot?
I don't recall who it was.
It was KCP. He passed it to KCP. KCP's like, why are you giving me this? King passed it back to him. LeBron said, I guess I got
to shoot. Yes, I remember what you're talking about now. Oh, my God.
Tried to do some lazy step back on Patrick Beverley that is half your size, LeBron James. Go up his chest, man. And, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. It didn't even seem like he wanted to shoot that shot. I don't think he wanted to. I was disgusted.
You didn't even mention the fact he got blocked.
He got blocked, bro. And I think that's kind of what he wanted to happen, but he blocked it into his hands, and it was out on us now, so the game is over. You know what I'm saying? And here comes Pat Beverley talking hot. I'm heated, bro. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. We're up a whole day. I was jolly a whole day up until that point, bro.
Honestly, man. Christmas was going super smooth. I'm already telling my girl, like, yo, like, it's Christmas night. We did everything in the day already. Let me have like 2.5 hours for the game. And she's like, all right, bro, watch your game. Bro, I'm on my chair. I'm like, who are you kidding me, LeBron? Like, I'm going crazy, bro. I am literally losing my mind.
Losing my mind, bro. Screaming.
To this day, I think that was the most upset I was all season.
No, hands down. On Christmas Day, bro, you know how crazy it
Not to mention, like 2 games before, Giannis is like, I'm just like, bro, I don't know. I think I'm like, we have a shot at winning the championship. I don't think LeBron.
I wasn't sold on LeBron, bro.
I wasn't sold. I was not sold. It was just, like you said, I heard you was conflicted, misusing your influence. That's how I felt, man. So fast forward, after that, it's like we put our foot on the gas. There's no turning back. And if you want me to be real, one of the moments that kind of, first of all, we're going crazy now. We're winning a bunch of games once again. January starting off hot because we dealt with the narratives. We dealt with we were only beating subpar teams. Oh, we were beating playoff teams, but we didn't beat the contenders. We didn't beat the Bucks. We didn't beat the Clippers. So we're dealing with all this. But we're getting the dubs, number one. We're number one in the standings, so I'm cool.
We've been number one pretty much the whole year. I don't think we ever lost that.
We didn't bounce. But what solidified it for me, and like it kind of felt like I have to completely look at LeBron James in a different perspective, is when the date happened and Kobe Bryant passed away. I don't know about you, man, but that day hit me, and I was just like, let me appreciate every person that wanted to come to Los Angeles and put on this jersey.
100%, bro. And it definitely it shook the world in a way, and it put everything into a different perspective, I feel like, And I just feel like life is a funny thing. And I think that reminded everybody to just appreciate, what I'm saying? And the timing of him going to passing Kobe for third on all-time scoring list, it's almost like tragic poetry. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
In a way, it's like appreciate. This is our guy now. Feel me? LeBron is our guy. We need to appreciate him in our Lakers jersey, and we need to be behind him and support him no matter what. At this point, feel me? And as far as the team was going, we was on a run. We was doing good. Besides that loss in Philly, which I wasn't really stressing. So it was a bad loss because I wanted that win. And Philly was a good team. No matter what, I was not satisfied until we beat the Clippers. I was not satisfied, bro. Because we was down 0-2 to our rivals, right? They're talking a big game, and now we're not the favorites anymore. It's the Clippers are the favorites, even though we're the number one seed. I needed to see from LeBron James him come out and destroy the Clippers, right? After that Phillies game, took a loss to, I believe it was
Portland. On the game back, we lost to Portland.
Game went crazy. Right?
That game. I wasn't even tripping that hard.
I was not tripping at all
because I was like, bro, we just had. I was in tears. I could only imagine with the players. The camera. I hoped in the pan that we saw a little bit tears trickling down, but like I'm sure when they were balling out, the cameras didn't want to freaking just put it in LeBron James' face. But I could only imagine how they felt. LeBron James had to give a speech tributing Kobe Bryant before a basketball game. Like, that doesn't even sound right.
Yeah.
So at that point I was just like, this is just chalk this whole day up as, a celebration of Kobe Bryant. Nothing more, nothing less. That's how I felt for a while. And then we got to the stretch of games where we're still doing our thing, but the narrative, we got to beat Milwaukee, we got to beat Clippers, we got to at least beat one of those teams. You know what? Let's beat them both. Put the crown back on my head. LeBron James started making a serious noise, a serious conversation for the MVP discussion. And this is when I'm like, all right, LeBron James got punched in the mouth a few times, and he said, I promise you I'm not getting punched again. Mm-hmm. And this is where I was like, if LeBron James is like this, the Lakers are going to win their 17th NBA championship.
It was looking up, bro. We was finally seeing what we needed to see from him for the past, 2 years. We wanted to see from the first season. We wanted to see from this season. We was finally seeing exactly what we wanted to see. Him being aggressive, him getting to the basket, him not taking over for an answer. And when we beat Milwaukee, right, because there was a number one team in the A at that point, and it was looking like if we made it to the finals, we'd probably see them. So that was a convincing win. Then we had to see – I feel like there was another team in between that or before that.
It was Sixers, Milwaukee, then Clippers.
So we beat the Sixers.
Beat the Sixers, but they were all hobbled up. Then we beat Milwaukee. Then we went back to LA and beat the Clippers.
Then we get to the Clippers game, right? This game, to me, and I'm pretty sure to you too, is a must win. I don't care if it's regular season. It's a must win. If we go down 0-3 to the Clippers, I'm thinking now we're mentally beat. Now we think we can't beat these guys. Feel me? LeBron James showed up and he closed, right? It wasn't all the way up to the last shot type of game, but he made it that way. You know what I'm saying? He put the pressure on the team to the point where it didn't have to be that. And maybe that's just, how it has to be sometimes. But he played good enough to get the win. AD was looking good. Our role players was looking good. Dwight was looking good. I thought it was chip time. Feel me? It's definitely chip time.
Yeah. It definitely was chip time, bro. Then Rudy Gobert started putting his hands in places where it just don't belong.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, man. So I don't want to cover, the whole bubble if it was gonna come back or not agenda,
Um,
but we covered that a bit already. But when we came back, in my mind, I'm like, Bron has had time to heal whatever groin injury that has been lingering for so long. I expect, zero dark 30 from here on out.
I was not expecting that, bro. I'm not gonna hold you because I feel like sometimes our biggest enemy is time off, and when we get on that run, especially that run that we was getting, I finally seen LeBron in his back, like the way we needed to see him. Sometimes taking time off, it's like he gets back into that zero dark 30, the zero dark 30 that we know to be true is gonna show up again. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of a little worried about that.
I definitely was too. And then once he started performing the way he did in the bubble, especially for those seeding games where he was just, I'm going to be honest, awful in my opinion, I started thinking, because that was like 3-4 months off of playing basketball. That's almost an off season. LeBron James, yes, he's in year 17 17. In theory, he's kind of in year 18. So in my head, I'm thinking, yo, there's no way those 3 months might have screwed him up, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little bit of doubts. But I got a little more faith in LeBron James at this point. The playoffs happen. Game 1, again, bro, it feels like we do not have a closer. It feels like we do not have a guy where, you need a basket, I'm going to get you it. That was my gripe with LeBron James from the very beginning, because his type of I'm really going to get you a basket right now is, and I don't know if I like that. I still don't know if I like that. But at this point, I kind of realized that
I accept it, bro.
I accept it. It's LeBron James.
It's fine. At this point, it's fine. If we work around that within our roster, and we have Anthony Davis now, and maybe one day we'll get deep into that conversation, but maybe that's just not his responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just not his role to close out the game in that fashion. And I accepted it at this point because I've seen it too many times to know that's just not him.
And that was my acceptance level. That's when I was like, that was when I really came to that idea. But what I never really came to the idea of, me and you always talked about during the regular season, bro, you can get a basket whenever you want. I'm not saying during the fourth quarter necessarily. Why don't you just drive and score?
It sounds easy, right?
It sounds so easy.
It sounds easy, but literally we watch it throughout the whole game, and then when it comes down to the fourth quarter, it's like it's a different story. But I don't know.
Yeah, but for the first time in a Lakers jersey, when it mattered at least, he started doing it, man. He started going crazy. This LeBron playoff run, it's going to be – I'm not going to say it's going to be underplayed, but if you look at the numbers, man, this is up there with all of his other playoff runs. We're talking about 26 – I'll pull up his playoff stats for you. I'll pull up his playoff stats right now. But talk about what you saw out of LeBron in the playoffs time and how you were feeling then.
I mean – more so the team was going crazy. The first game against Portland was very scary. I'm not gonna hold you. You know how Dame was coming, you know how the Blazers was coming. And I can't remember how LeBron played that game, I'm not gonna lie. But he definitely came back on his bully for the rest of the series. Houston was not a problem. Oh, let me talk about Houston. LeBron came to play. He made Westbrook look crazy. Let's talk about it, bro. His defense was top tier.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention about that all the whole thing. His defense all year.
All year.
That is what really won me over. And it was like, you know what? LeBron James in the scoring, screw it, man. He is really, whether it was Zion Williamson taking that assignment, whether it was in the playoff, in the Clippers game, I should have mentioned this, Game 3 Clippers game, where he said, I got Kawhi. I got PG. And I remember, even in the bubble, I know you remember when it was the last shot, ball in the Clippers' hand, and LeBron James took on the assignment of whoever had the ball, and he locked up both of them, Kawhi and PG. But real quick, you want to hear his playoffs numbers?
Yes, sir.
27.6 points a game. That's star numbers. You expect that.
That's right, LeBron.
8.8 assists a game. 10.8 rebounds a game on 56% field goal percentage, shooting 37% from the three-point line.
Also, I don't know if you could find this stat because I feel like I was impressed by this during the playoffs too. Look up his free throw percentage.
72%.
That's not bad for LeBron. That's not terrible.
That is better than his 2016, 2015, and that's kind of it. It looked like he was actually pretty good at shooting free throws earlier in his career. He once upon a time shot 80%. I don't know what happened. But that was better than the last runs we've seen of him in the playoffs. So he was really like, we didn't need him to do all the scoring. That was the beautiful part about having AD and having a roster that somehow, on any given night, somebody can drop it on you.
That's probably why it's not perceived as such a crazy playoff run for him, because in the past, he would have to go for 40, 50.
Yeah, and he'll do that.
Yeah.
But it gave me a newfound level of respect, but I'm going to be honest. At this point, I really like LeBron James.
I love LeBron James.
I really like LeBron James.
I'll
say I love LeBron James. But what made me realize and truly appreciate his greatness and understand that this man is one of the greatest players of all time. Game 5, Miami Heat, when him and Jimmy Buckets are battling bucket for bucket for bucket for bucket.
What was that, Game 5?
Game 5.
Legendary game.
It would have been my favorite finals game of all time if Danny Green would have hit
classics.
But, man, this game just proved to me, I was like, LeBron James, this is the one where I was like, he could have done this all season if he wanted to. He just knew when to turn it up. He's a mastermind, man. He's like Vogel. These people are they're geniuses at the end of the day.
Basketball savants. And it's like, at this point, we didn't end up winning the game, but LeBron, won me over completely. You know what I'm saying? Not to say he didn't already, but that game was just a beauty to watch. Literally down to the wire. And it came down to, him and that quality he has. But at least he got us to that point. I wish he didn't pass to Danny Green. But, hey.
Man, and no spoiler. You guys know what it ended up with.
Exactly.
This is how everything changed for LeBron James from my mindset as a Lakers fan. This is how my vision changed, my perspective. And I want to end the conversation right here. With this being said, we know our feelings of LeBron James before he ever put on a Lakers jersey. Now that he has it on, do you think he is the greatest player of all time?
All right, so let me say this, bro. Let me get up a little closer. This is important for me. LeBron James, right? And I mean this wholeheartedly, and this is truly how I feel, right? LeBron James is a GOAT. No doubt about it. He's a GOAT. But my GOAT, I want to say so. He's a GOAT. I give him that credit, and I feel like that should never be taken away from him. Is there such thing as the GOAT? Is that a real thing?
Alex Caruso, I would say, would agree.
You got a great point. I'm not gonna hold you, but is there really such thing as the GOAT, though, bro? Besides Caruso.
All right, so let me put this into perspective, because I got similar words to say, but I'll do it at the end. If LeBron James was to win, because everybody says, okay, but Jordan got 6. If LeBron James was to win 6 rings,
that don't mean nothing to me, bro.
You don't.
The ring talk used to mean a lot, but it doesn't mean nothing to me, bro.
It means something to me if you give two
It
Lakers
means
two
a
more.
little something, but not everything.
If you give Lakers two more rings, bro, I'm sorry. I'll say whatever you want me to say. You are the greatest player of all time.
I'm not. I just feel like I can't jack that. I feel like I'm lying to myself because I genuinely don't feel he's the greatest player of all time, if there's such a thing. But he is a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? My GOAT is forever going to be Kobe Bryant. I've yet to see anybody with my own naked eyes amaze me the way Kobe's had. That's just.
All right, so let me ask you a different question then, and then we got to wrap it up. But is LeBron James your favorite player in the league? Be honest.
He's not. It's been AD since he got to the Lakers. Not gonna hold you, and it's AD right now because have you seen this man? This man is looking scary, boy, and his ceiling he keeps getting higher.
Well, hey, that's a conversation for another time. You know what I mean? Conversation for another time. To answer that question myself, I'm going to be honest with you. LeBron James is not my favorite player. I think at the end of the day, when it comes down to it for me, yeah, it's Dame time. I think I make that very clear on here. But for me, I think it's just he's not my cup of tea when it comes down to as my favorite player to watch.
That's what it is. But I appreciate his greatness and I understand that he is a GOAT.
That is what he earned by putting on a Lakers jersey from me. And I want a sincere apology that I ever even doubted him in this jersey for a second. I want to apologize for all that hate I might have spewed on Twitter. I hope I deleted all those tweets by now. I want to apologize for some of them lunchroom conversations where I would put a lot of dirt on your name.
I gotta jump in and say I apologize for that too. I'm not gonna hold you. Lunchroom conversations got real nasty.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and say I take all that back.
Friendships almost ruined on that table, man.
Oh, for real.
They were almost ruined, but he'll never be my favorite player. But I can acknowledge that, like you said, he is one of the GOATs, whether you rank him 1, 2, 3, whatever the case may be. Kobe Bryant is forever my favorite player. He's my GOAT. I think LeBron James, I'm going to be honest, I didn't see Jordan play. So from my own eyes, LeBron James is the GOAT. But that's all subjective. It's all subjective. I just want to say that I don't know if I truly am ever going to love seeing LeBron James play. Not necessarily love seeing him play. That's harsh. I don't know if I'm ever going to be absolutely head over heels for LeBron James playing, but I can say I love the fact that LeBron James graced his presence in a Lakers jersey, and I love the fact that one day in a few years, we're going to see 23 retired in them rafters and know that he didn't give us hopefully not 1, hopefully not 2, maybe hopefully not 3, but he blessed us with a few chips. And because of that alone, I owe LeBron my appreciation, my graciousness for eternity, and for eternity. So thank you, LeBron James. I am not the same person I am 6 years ago because watching you play this year specifically, especially I'm a defensive guy, turning it up on the defensive end, turning it up when it mattered most, punching Jimmy Butler back in the mouth when he was like, yeah, we're down 3-1, but I'm confident, scaring the hell out of me. You put a stop on that. You put the brakes on the car, and you drove the train all the way to Chip City, and you got it out of Orlando. So the conversation's over for this one. Yes, but the GOAT conversation continues. And as long as you're a Lakers player, I got your back.
Yes, sir. Big Lakers Nation. Feel me?
And that's what it comes down to. So any final words, my man?
Just, you know what I'm saying, just go back to the beginning of the conversation. Like you said, we used to be LeBron James haters, but I think there's one thing he realized, especially about Lakers Nation, is that we always going to have you back. The real Lakers fans, you know what I'm saying, going to be with you through thick and thin. We've been through the thinnest and the thickest, So, I'm saying we got you back 100%. I appreciate everything you've done for the team this year specifically. Got us a ring. Did what you had to do. Job finished. Good work, Ron. I know definitely Kobe proud of you. And what can I say about that?
The job is certainly finished, but if I can say, there's still more work to do.
Of course.
So with that being said,
18 on the way.
let's get the Lakers above the Celtics one more time.
18 on the way.
December 22nd. Free agency. Everything is coming soon. We're going to be here for all of that and for more conversations like this. But for now, in case I don't see you, good evening. Have a good evening, good afternoon, and good night. Chip me.
Karma gon' come. Hope I'm ready when she do. All the good that way too young. Hope I ain't good enough for you. If I ever get caught up, hope it ain't shit left I could prove. Cause I'm only 21, ain't got shit left I could